I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and welcome to our podcast, For the Health of It, episode 11. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, and you'll never miss an episode on how to naturally get well and stay well.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. What we're going to talk about today is life extension. I think that's kind of how the game is played, isn't it? Whoever lives longest wins. And we're going to give you a lot of hints that you can do to increase not just the quantity of your life, but the quality of your life as well. Because I don't know how you feel, but I want to live a long time, but I also want to be living with a bunch of tubes stuck in every orifice of my body and I can't move. I want to be like a candle. A candle burns bright from the minute it's lit till the minute it just flickers and then goes out. And that's a good way to live your life. And I think that's a very reasonable goal. And you can have reasonable expectations to have a healthy life if you do certain things. And you talk to people that live long lives and they usually have a similar pattern. In fact, there was a study done, I think it was National Geographic did it actually. In fact, I'm sure it was. And they wanted to find out who lived the longest lives around the world. And they found three groups that had the longest life expectancy. One was in Okinawa, Japan. One was, I think, in the mountains of Russia. And one was Loma Linda, California. I mean, what odd groups, right? So they dug around and they tried to find out what do all these people have in common. And the answer was only one thing. Because they lived in different areas. The one was cold, one was warm, one was Loma Linda, California, and one was civilized, one wasn't. And so what did they have in common? And the one thing they had in common was they ate essentially a plant-based diet. That was it. The one thing that brought everybody together for the longest life expectancy. And so one of the things we're going to talk about today is how to do that. What does it look like to actually eat a plant-based diet? Or more importantly, what the heck is a plant-based diet? Because there's a word of vegetarian and vegan, and those words are kind of going old school now, because you can be a vegan and still eat a very unhealthy lifestyle. You can eat a lot of brownies and cookies and cakes and donuts and pastas and bread, and you can still be vegan. Vegan means no animal products, but still die at a very early age and still have obesity and diabetes and heart disease. So vegan is good. Plant-based is the best. So we're going to talk about that. But I want to give you some tips on things that you can do to actually increase your life expectancy. And it's not hard, it's easy. And the cool part about this, as with all shows I've ever done, every lecture, every book I've ever written, is it's a lot less expensive than anything you're doing right now. It's easier than anything you're doing right now. And once you do it, you'll be like almost all my other patients I've ever seen in the 33 years I've been practicing. And you'll say to me, Dr. Joe, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long in my life? Why did I suffer so miserably for so many years when all I had to do was this? And the answer is yes. It's cheaper, it's better, it's quicker, it's more fun. Statistically, you're going to get greater results if you do three things. Number one, have a normally functioning nervous system. And as a chiropractor, of course, that's my main concern, is make sure your nervous system is working. You have to have a normally functioning digestive system. You don't want to have acid reflux or heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. These are all signs that something's wrong. And then we want to eat a good diet. Make sure you're eating the right foods. Make sure you get the right supplements. We're going to talk about that today as well. So lots of tips today on how to experience life extension and save a ton of money in the meantime. That's what's so fun about this. And logically, I think every day, why doesn't everyone just do this? It's quicker, easier, and cheaper than anything you're doing right now. Why is this not the thing that everybody does? And the answer is, I don't know. Well, I do know. The bad foods, the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, stimulate parts of your brain called the pleasure receptors, the dopamine receptor sites. So you're getting high every time you're eating those bad foods. And so when you get high, logic goes out the window. I'm as guilty as anyone else. About a week or so ago, I decided I wanted a baked potato. No big deal, right? So I had a baked potato. What did I want more of? I wanted more baked potatoes. I wanted some breads. I wanted to have some pasta, some grains. And I started eating a little more potatoes. I had a big bag, 5-pound bag of potatoes. I can't let them go to waste. I grew up poor. And so I ate 1 or 2 a day. And I noticed that in about a week or so, I weighed myself and I'd put on about pound and a half, 2 pounds. Well, I know I shouldn't be eating that many carbohydrates. And so I gave it up. I went back to my normal diet. The 2 pounds fell off and I was back to my normal weight again. So once you start eating these bad foods, these carbohydrate-based foods, they stimulate the pleasure centers in the brain, and you're getting high. Alcohol does it. Meats also do it for different reasons, not the carbohydrate centers, but they also stimulate pleasure centers in the brain. And so this is why we eat bad foods. And if you can control yourself, and you can say, I'm not going to do this, you'll be amazed how much better you're going to feel. So let's talk about life extension, and let's talk about how nutrition and good health affect diseases. So let's list just a few diseases, or health conditions, I should say, that are linked to nutrition. This is just a few of them, okay? Here we go. Heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, your bones and your teeth, obesity, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, allergies, digestive disorders, fatigue, mental illness, depression, mood swings, mental alertness, sleep disorders, skin conditions, wrinkles, pimples, blackheads, dry skin, and stress. And that's just a few. And here's the thing. There are books written that list all the diseases known to man. Every disease has some nutritional response to it. Isn't that wild? Every disease known to man could benefit from a better diet. Every disease known to man has inflammation. And if we can reduce the inflammation, usually we do some amazing things with getting the body well. And most people live a very inflammatory lifestyle. They eat the inflammatory foods. Again, the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. They live a stressful lifestyle, which causes inflammation. They don't drink enough water, which causes inflammation. They don't get the right nutrients, which causes inflammation. So what do we have to do is just address what you're doing, stop doing it, do the right thing, and you're good. And the cool part about this is this. Most of the things when it comes to health and nutrition are passive, not active, which means you have to not do something. And if you could not do something, you're going to be better off. So I'm making it easy for you. You have to not do something as opposed to actually participating. You have to not participate. You'll save money, feel better, live longer, sleep better, love life will improve, go to the bathroom better, skin will clear up, weight will fall off. The downside is nothing. The upside is everything. Once again, why do we keep doing these bad things? Because we feel good when we do it short term, not long term. We feel good short term. So nutrition, everybody ingests or digests. Now there's a difference. Ingestion is what you put in your body. I can ingest a penny. I'm not going to digest a penny. Digestion is what your body breaks down, absorbs, and then passes out the waste products. Most patients that I've tested over the years I've been in practice have a digestive problem. They're either not absorbing or not breaking down or not putting the right food in to absorb and break down. And so we have to fix the digestion. And I believe, another one of Dr. Joe's predictions that, by the way, are always right. I believe that once we get the nervous system working, the digestive system working, and the diet straightened out, and we make that part of our healthcare protocol in this country, we then will solve the healthcare crisis. Because people will start getting better. They won't be going to doctors as much. The doctors will now have time to treat the patients that truly need their treatment. And I see this every day. Patients come into my offices. We have 3 offices in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. And patients literally come in every day. New patients come in every day to our offices. And so many of the problems they have are self-induced. Now, that's hard for somebody to take when I tell you, you caused your problem. But a lot of people have self-induced issues, and we have to stop them from doing it. And then they get better, and they think, Dr. Joe, your team of doctors are the smartest doctors in the world. I've heard that many times. And my answer is, no, we just taught you how to take care of yourself. And then we administer the physical things that are part of your healthcare plan, the chiropractic adjustments, the massaging of the stomach and getting muscles to release. That's what we do. You handle the other stuff. So I want you to start identifying what you're doing wrong and why you want to change some of your eating habits. So let's talk about some of the things you're doing, and I'd like to see you change. Number 1, Do you use food as a reward? Say yes, because most people do. I've been watching what I eat for a week so I can have blank. Usually it's cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Why is that a bad thing? Dr. Joe, I don't want to live miserably. I want to enjoy life. Carpe diem. Well, here's the problem is once you eat right, the brain resets itself. And you're able to eat normal foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Soon as you have some of that sugar, the nucleus accumbens starts pumping out dopamine, you start getting high, and you're off the wagon. This is why if you are an alcoholic, if you ever knew an alcoholic, what's the rule on drinking? 0 tolerance. Because once an alcoholic has some alcohol, the dopamine receptor sites start releasing, and you lose all logic. And this is the thing with addicts, whether it's food, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling. We find that in their brains, they don't have as many dopamine receptor sites, those pleasure centers in the brain, as a, quote, normal person would. And so what happens is they need more external stimulus to get high. But once you calm the brain down and it starts working normally, you can live at this new normal. But once you start getting this excessive amount of dopamine, this excessive amount of pleasure being released, you want more. So when it comes to eating right, if you're using food as a reward, your body says, oh, that donut's going to make me feel so good, baby, and I want more. And so many times you fall off the wagon when it comes to food, and then you have to kind of reboot yourself again. So it's a lot easier to not fall off the wagon than it is to fall off the wagon and get back on it again. Just like with alcoholism. Same mechanism. Heroin, cocaine, sugar, all the same mechanism. So be careful with that. How about food as comfort? When I'm sad, I eat blank because I feel good. Anybody do that? Sounds like a game show from the 70s, right? I eat blank. So what's happening is you're sad, so you eat something to make you feel good, give you pleasure. But then there's a downside. We're talking about life extension today. You've heard me talk many times, if you're a regular listener, about the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. And if you put these things in your body, and this is not the show to do that, I don't have enough time to cover all that, these are the adverse effects it's going to have, one of them being speeding up the aging process. Now, if you want to listen to my lecture, The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, that's on my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world, and you'll see where it says media. Just click on that. You got videos and audio. We've got well over 1,000 hours of audio. We have a ton, probably over 100 hours, I'm guessing, of video. So whatever you like, if you're a video and audio person, you have the option to listen or watch. And the cost for all of that is absolutely free. And a lot of the things we talk about are considered postgraduate study. I teach postgraduate to doctors, chiropractors. The medical community has now asked me to teach some postgraduate study classes for them. So I teach doctors after they graduated. And you're getting it for free on the website. So dig in and start listening. Also, if you're a podcast person, you can search the podcast sites. The podcast is called For the Health of It. And we have podcasts. So you can watch podcasts as well, or listen to podcasts there. So that would be on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. So it's there too, in case you're a podcast person. But food for comfort. How about this? I had a really bad day. I need a glass of wine, a drink, a beer to calm down. Oh my gosh. That's a sign that there's something wrong. If you want to calm down and relax, you can do things like valerian root. You can do kava kava. You can do chamomile tea. So there's other things you can do to help relax that are not going to have a reaction like the alcohol does. Alcohol being one of the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. So alcohol destroys your brain cells. And as a chiropractor, I want to make sure your brain is talking to your body and your body's talking to your brain uninterrupted. So if you're dumping these dangerous foods into your body, messing with the brain, you're messing with what me and my team of doctors are trying to do is get your body working normally again. So stop that. Stop messing with the good work that we're doing. So if you have to use food as comfort, we got a problem. Food is a crutch. I can't start my day without, say it with me, 70% of you do every day, coffee. Of all the foods, coffee is the most sprayed food with the most chemicals on it. It also is very acidic. And when you put acid in your body has to neutralize the acid. The body uses calcium as its primary neutralizing agent. So every time you put acid foods in your body, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, you're sucking calcium out of the blood and out of the bones to neutralize the acid. That's not good. So you're putting a bunch of chemicals that disrupt your hormones. You're putting acid in your body, robbing your body of calcium. It's a diuretic. It's also bowel stimulant. So you're dehydrating yourself by putting coffee into your body. Doesn't taste good. I used to work in a place. I used to make the donuts. I won't say the brand name, but you know what I'm talking about. Back when I was 14 years old, I used to make the donuts, and I did for a long time. And so I was young. I used to clean toilets there. And then they started teaching me how to bake. And then one thing led to another. And eventually I became a baker. And I never liked coffee because you always had to put cream and sugar in it, which made no sense to me because why would I want to drink something I have to doctor up to make it taste better? Didn't make any sense to me. So if you have to use food as a crutch, that becomes a problem. I need blank to give me energy in the afternoon, usually coffee, but chocolate might fit in there. Again, if you're going to eat chocolate, raw, not raw, or what you can do, raw, organic dark chocolate, small amounts, like the size of your thumb, the top joint of your thumb, would be okay. Anything more than that is not a good thing. So talking about life extension, we're talking about the things you can do, but from a chiropractic standpoint, we want to make sure the spine and the joints are lined up properly. Because one of the things that happens is if a bone is out of alignment, it will wear out, guaranteed 100%. And I always tell my patients, I can't promise you we can help you, but I can promise you if you have bones out of place, they will wear out. And when joints wear out, that's called arthritis. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, chances are you have a bone out of place. And that bone may be pinching a nerve, but always is going to wear out. So you probably want to get that fixed. And the cool part about it is it's relatively inexpensive, relatively painless. The results are phenomenal when patients do what we say. The only time I ever see complaints is when patients don't do what we say. And then they say, well, I went there 2 times and it didn't help me. You know what? I'm not that good. If you expect a 1 or 2 time shot coming here to see my doctors, don't even bother coming in. Because we want to get to the cause of your problem, not just treat the symptoms. And if you don't have realistic expectations, that's not fair to us and it's not fair to you. So if you'd like to make an appointment to come see us, if you have pains or health issues, go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world, and we will set you up a time to come in. If you have insurance, we file insurance. If you don't have insurance, if we're out of network, many times, folks, if we're out of network or any hospital or doctor is, it's because the insurance company isn't paying enough for us to afford to see you as a patient. There was one insurance company we dropped out of. We were losing money every time we saw the patient. I know, we finally figured out, well, we can't do this anymore. So we work with the patients. I promise you, we'll work with you. If you've ever been in a car accident, a sports injury, especially car accidents, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. So if you're ever in a car accident, and the sooner you get to us, the better, you need to get it fixed. But even if it was 50 years ago, if you didn't get it fixed, I promise you it's going to get worse. So if you'd like to come see us, for chiropractic care, talk about nutrition. We cover that with all our patients. If you have digestive issues, go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We'll set you up a time as soon as possible to come see us. Again, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. So as we continue on with life extension, the things that you can do to increase the quality and the quantity of your life. How about food as punishment? I'm too fat. I'm going to skip all these meals. Well, that's not a good thing either. Now, you can fast, which is okay, which is different than skipping meals. Fasting is you plan on it, you're drinking water, you're making sure you're doing it the right way. If you just skip meals, that could be okay. I don't care if you skip a meal here and there, but don't punish yourself. I ate cookies, I'm a horrible person, I'm a failure as a human being. No, you messed up. How many people mess up? All of us. How often? A lot. So don't beat yourself up, just get back on track again. Because if you start beating yourself up, you create emotional stress. And when it comes to the nervous system, there's physical stress, there's chemical stress, and there's emotional stress. The physical stress, my team of doctors as chiropractors, work on to fix. Maybe the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm. We need to massage the stomach away from the diaphragm. Your foot can come out of place. Your knee, your ankle, 206 bones in the body, any one of them can come out of place. Our job, put them all back in place. Chemical stress. We teach you how to deal with the chemical stress. How to eat right, supplements to take. I think everyone should be taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Those are the two minimum amount of supplements, the minimum amount of nutrients you should be taking every day. They're 2 powders. They taste great. I put them in a little jar. I shake it up with some coconut milk or almond milk, and I drink it at least once a day. Now, if I have a big day, I'll double dose. If I'm giving a bunch of lectures, I got to do a bunch of TV appearances. If I got to do book signings, if I got to travel to give a lecture, a lot of corporations hire me as a speaker for wellness and motivation. And so if I have a big day, I'll have a double dose. But usually I have a single dose, and that's all you need for the day. It goes down real quick, real inexpensive. Tastes great. Now, most of you, if you're under stress, will probably need an adrenal supplement as well, because the adrenal glands get stressed out, and these are herbs that feed the adrenals. They don't stimulate like coffee is a stimulant. This feeds your adrenals, and we have a ton of supplements we can offer depending on what the patient needs. But that's something I'd recommend that you do every single day. And if you want to get the supplements, and I think you should, by the way, 99% of patients, I guess, who take it are like, oh my gosh, these are great. How do I live without them? They're on my website, drjoeesposito.com, also available on Amazon if you have an Amazon account. So the website's great. Spend a little time at the website. Listen to our archive radio shows, podcasts, read the articles I have. Send me questions. If you have a question, you could send it to me through the website. I'm more than happy to answer it for you. So the website's a real good source of information, but it's a great place to order the supplements. Now, if you want to save shipping and you're in the Atlanta area, I know this show goes all over the world, you can come by our offices and pick up the supplements too and save yourself a few bucks in shipping. But I think you're going to be very happy when you start giving your body the nutrition that it needs. You're going to be pretty excited that, oh my gosh, this is what normal feels like? And the answer is yes. Most people don't even know what normal feels like. And when they start feeling normal, they think it's weird. So other things, life habits that you might want to work on. Food to fuel your depression. I'm feeling so depressed, so eating blank makes me feel better about myself. How about ice cream, cookies, cakes, donuts, chocolate? I'm depressed. The worst thing you can do when you're depressed is put chemicals in your body that are going to make the depression worse. And those chemicals are food or drugs or alcohol. I understand we all get depressed. I've been depressed. We've all get depressed at some points. Most of the time, it will pass. If it doesn't pass, we have some great counselors we work with, and we can refer you out to some great counselors and let them work with you. But the counselor is going to tell you the same thing we are. Make sure your nervous system is working. Make sure your digestive system is working. Make sure you're getting the proper nutrition. So when we talked about chemical stress and physical stress, we're all going to have emotional stress. Every day, I don't know of anyone who doesn't have emotional stress at least some point in their day. But if the body is healthy, if you have a normally functioning nervous system, a normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition, when the emotional stress comes on, it's a lot easier to deal with. Because I've seen people sink into depression and they just can't get out of it. And you're looking at them going, why are you depressed? Well, 5 years ago, something happened. Well, I know, but that was 5 years ago. And you want to say, suck it up, but they can't. It's not like somebody's depressed and they want to be depressed. Now, they can make bad decisions, which you can disagree with. But when you're in depression, the body is not producing a right amount of serotonin. It's usually serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter. And serotonin helps get you out of depression, helps you focus. Many times, people that have depression have a digestive problem. They're not breaking their proteins into amino acids. The amino acids are the raw materials to produce neurotransmitters, and so your body can't work. Ask anyone, including yourself, anxiety, depression, bipolar, even suicidal, 100% of the cases I've seen in the years I've been in practice have either gas, bloating, diarrhea, acid reflux, horrible diet. And when we start fixing that, the body starts producing more of the normal neurotransmitters, and they feel better. Because depression can shorten your life expectancy. A lot of people, after they retire, after a spouse dies, what happens? They die too. Because they're depressed because their spouse is gone or they don't have a purpose in life, especially for men. Men really, I know personally, and a lot of men do, we judge ourselves on our careers. And if the career is gone, well, a lot of times you slip into depression. It's just statistical how it is, men versus women. So just be careful with that. And a lot of times people say, when are you going to retire? I said, retire? I don't understand. What do you mean? I've got a bunch more careers I have to run through first, all of which are going to be aimed toward helping you get well and stay well. And that means radio, that means television, that means writing more books, that means doing more appearances, more lectures, because I want to help you get well and stay well. Now, if you want to do that, if you're ready, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you'd like to make an appointment to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. Love to have you come out and say hi. Go to our website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, number one Dr. Joe in the world, and we will set you up a time to come see us. Hopefully I get to see you and say hi. And we'll check your nervous system, we'll check your digestive system, we'll talk about nutrition, but come in with reasonable expectations. We're not going to fix you 1 or 2 visits in most cases, so if that's your expectations, don't even bother. The only time patients ever complain is when they have unreasonable expectations and we don't meet them. But I tell the patients, is there anything that you want? Tell me what your goals are, and we try to tell them if it's real or not. But we accept people with all insurances, no insurances, car accidents. I've never seen a car accident where the car was damaged where the occupants weren't. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, do it right now. Go to the website, drjoeesposito.com, make an appointment. Thanks for listening to For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well. You can also listen to and call into my radio show live Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WSBRadio.com and on the WSB Radio app.